And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday, June 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome on a Friday. We're glad to have you with us and glad to be on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust. Scott Jasper is with us this morning, Executive Vice President. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Been a minute or two.
How you been?
Been well. Ready to... It's already summertime, and everybody knows, man, we just got hit right in the face with all this heat.
Yeah, you brought your UK Cup, University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Blue Mist has got to infiltrate every once in a while, so.
You came here from Kentucky, didn't you?
I did. Moved here in 97, so I've been with the bank going on 25 years, so it's flown by for sure.
Well, what do you want to talk about this morning?
Well, we got a few things. It's an exciting time of the year. Like I said, the summer's ramping up. So one of the big things we've got going on this week is we are a community partner with the Nashville Super Speedway, and so we are having a giveaway for tickets. So today is the last day to come in and register for a 4-pack of tickets for either the Friday or Saturday race out at the Speedway. So that'll be coming up next weekend, which is a big weekend here because they'll race on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so I think the Sunday race is, be a nationally televised race, and I think that's usually when NBC picks up the transition. So, big weekend, for Wilson County and the surrounding counties. So we're glad to be a part and partner with the Super Speedway. And then also Monday we will be closed just for the federal holiday on Monday on Juneteenth. So just a reminder for that. So, but you can still bank with us online at wilsonbank.com.
But a reminder to people today that if you were planning to do something Monday, you better do it today or put it off till Tuesday.
And our offices are open on Saturday too, they can slide in there on Saturday too. But we still have those times available. So.
Well, as Executive Vice President, what are your duties right now?
So I oversee our marketing department. I also oversee our sales, training, and customer experience, which there's a whole lot of different things that kind of mold into that. And then also oversee all of our facilities. So I have a facilities manager. So, we've got 29 offices. Looking to have our 30th office by the end of the year down in the Maryland Farms area. So help oversee those, any remodels, and then also opportunities to look for growth. And so that's the exciting part. But as the bank continues to grow, the marketing aspect of it, there's so many things, like we said, that we just talked about here, different things that we are involved in with our schools, just with the different projects that we have going on. So every day is different. You never know what you're going to do. And speaking of marketing, one of the other things that the bank is doing this year is we're doing a habitat build this year here in Wilson County. So we've had 2 weekends of build, and our last weekend of the build will be next weekend. So we'll work 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to finish up the house that we're working on. I worked on it last Friday and Saturday, and it was a little warm, but the neat thing about it is it's about the team orientation that we've got folks coming from all of our different offices. And I mean, we're using now, this is bankers now using nail guns and saws and stuff like that. So it's been interesting to watch people on ladders. So we've gotten out of our comfort zone.
Going to ask you if you picked up a hammer, but
today everything, like I said, using these nail guns and stuff like that because it's so rapid. But it's been really neat to do that, work with the homeowner, to watch them put in the work that they have to do that, and knowing that you're giving them a home. So it's been really neat to do that.
Well, that's a good opportunity for the bank there, and you're always, ever since Wilson Bank began, you've been very community-oriented, community-minded. You've had something going all the time. And, of course, you've always been a big player to Wilson County Fair. Now the Wilson County Fair, Tennessee State Fair.
Well, we were talking about that the other day. We're gearing up for that. Met the other day just to kind of, because like I said, there's so many things that are coming at us. We'll start our fairs here in June, all the way from Smith County, into DeKalb, Wilson, Williamson. So there's a lot of moving parts that take place, and so being spread out through the region.
Like you have, you got to be active in all the communities.
You've got to be active in them, but that's the great thing about it. Our folks that work in those communities.
And if you're doing, you're kind of responsible for for all 29 offices here, so you know what's going on in every location.
Yep, and there's always new little things around the corner for sure. But that's the great part about it is it's not just the same thing day in and day out. There's always just different things that we can be involved in.
All right, well, before you go, remind everybody again about the possibility of tickets.
Ticket giveaway. Today is the last day to register for those, and that is for the June 24th or 25th race. That's the Friday or Saturday race out at the Nashville Super Speedway. And so come into one of your local offices and register for those, and they'll draw for those next week and then contact the winners. The banks are closed on Monday for the holiday, and so we'll be back at it on Tuesday.
All right. Well, Scott, it's really good to see you. Glad everything's going well, and it sounds like you're enjoying I don't know how long you've been in this position. How long?
In this position, probably for about the last 4 or 5 years. So
that
there's
long?
a little transition. Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Time flies. You just get in there and just get into it every day. It's all good.
All right. Scott Jasper, Executive Vice President for Wilson Bank and Trust, a member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. All right, we're 10 after the hour, and I've invited Karen Moore to be with us this morning. Who's Karen Moore? Well, she's the director of 911 here in Wilson County. Karen, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I had asked you to come Monday, and I think you were on special assignment earlier in the week or something.
Yes, we had the National Emergency Number Association, known as NENA. It's the 911 National Association. We had a conference up in Lexington, Kentucky. So, yeah. So it was good.
Wow.
Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know why I said Lexington. I was thinking UK, but it was in Louisville. We actually went to the Louisville Baseball Bat Museum. So,
Louisville Slugger.
Louisville Slugger.
I've been there.
Yeah.
You learn how they make those baseball bats.
Yep.
Well, anything out of the conference that is worthy of our listeners' attention?
Just a lot of new technology. And of course, Tennessee is so much in the forefront of the next generation 911, which allows the 911s to be able to move towards what we call a EZNet type call handling situation. And really, in layman's term, it's just easier to locate you. So, yeah, the conferences are good. They're, if you kind of get down and out and get tired of what you're doing, you can get uplifted when you go to these conferences.
Well, you are the director, but we were talking this morning. There was a time when you came in and answered those emergency calls. You've done just about everything in that office there.
I have 18 years of dispatching, 8 years of GIS work, and now director a little over 6 years.
Well, I think you're going to make a career out of it.
You think so? Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to get you here, I had Sheriff Bryan on back earlier in the month, and he mentioned about a change that has been, I think, approved by the board of 911, and I wanted you, if you could, to talk about that this morning.
Sure. This was something that, we tried several years ago to do a co-location because we know everyone being in the same room to be able to get the responders and going quickly was something we need to move towards. Not that we were doing anything wrong, but it's kind of like, nobody's driving I say nobody. There's a few people out there may be still driving the 30-year-old car, and I've been in it for 31 years. So, people need to advance. If you just stay still, then you've really stopped living. So we've been looking at different ways to improve and doing different things. Like currently we're doing Mount Juliet Fire direct dispatch and getting them rolling faster. So the next thing was talking about communication. And when we did our remodel, we were at the Wilson EMA location on Oak Street. And that gave us an opportunity for about 6 months to see those people working with our people.
Well, I'm sure there's been a lot of discussion about this, and as I understand it, it was a fairly close vote as to proceed. But and of course the new addition at the jail is not complete, but at some point. Now, are you actually going to be moving into there?
All of our call takers will be. Oh. The administrative office will stay at our location on West Main Street, where we do address and the GIS, and then my office is there as well. So it'll be mainly the call takers there that'll be with the dispatchers at the Sheriff's Department, the dispatchers from Wilson EMA, and we'll be bringing along Mount Juliet Fire, hopefully with us. Right now, we're still what we call in our test bed with them, but everything's going extremely well. Kind of similar to what we had done a few months ago with Lebanon Fire.
Well, there's two schools of thought, I guess, and everybody hasn't gone along with this. Is that going to present some problem?
No, not really. If you're talking about board members or no, they all once they've gotten together and the votes made and they put their heads together and make the best out of whatever decision, even if they were against it. So as far as other agencies and stuff, I think Sheriff is gonna give them the opportunity to join. It looks like it's going to be sometime in the first quarter of 2023. We've already have our stations, furniture stations, that'll be there in September. So we'll be working with AT&T to do upgrades to the call handling equipment. And we've still got to sit down and look at the functionality of how it'll be, because we're working on some operational things to streamline that particular thing, because really, there's always been a lot of talk about transfers, but in any agencies, they transfer within the building. And so what we plan on doing is having a way for a signaling of, there's signaling lights on top of each positions, and that they can actually click a light, and that gives the sheriff's dispatcher an opportunity to pick up and listen to the call.
Okay, we need to take a break right here. Karen Moore, Director of 911, is with us this morning. You're listening to Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they have a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
I believe in certain areas around town where it's just now starting to pick up. It's been really light to moderate, but now it's starting to get a little bit sluggish on 65 southbound as you try to get past Trinity Lane. Traffic is moving right now through Mount Juliet, a little bit of radar through parts of Wilson County and also Dixon County as well. I-40 out around the 840 split. Hey, Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Log on to GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads whose hands have worked day and night to provide for their families.
And to all the dads who have served our country in any capacity.
Dads are special. If your dad is not here to hug, find that special dad and celebrate him for Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, and remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team, 443-3130.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. And again, Karen Moore with 911, Director of 911, is with us this morning. Now, you mentioned January 2023.
Yes.
Now, and is that when all this will have been completed, or if all goes according to plans?
Well, it's kind of like a floating date. I think the plan is to let the Sheriff's Department and Wilson EMA move in first, and then we'll come in second. We've got a lot of strategic stuff to look at as far as keeping backup at Oak Street, because it's a more secure building. So we've got several things that we've got to do, from new equipment and just trying to make the stuff where when we step into the new building, when the 911 folks come in, that everything will be streamlined immediately. Of course, there's going to be bugs and things that we have to work through. There's a lot of equipment that 911 is allocated, because, the call starts at 911. So a lot of the stuff at the conference I was at this week is really allocated towards the 911 system. Well, being in the same room will allow those agencies to also use that up-to-date softwares and equipment and things. So it's going to be pretty interesting that we're going to be able to share the technology that's out there. And that's, that's the go. It's the go about it doesn't matter what department that we are, because the main thing is that the people sitting in that seat answering the call or dispatching that call. And it doesn't matter. Every agency in this county does a great job. From Lebanon to Mount Juliet to the sheriff to 911 to Wilson EMA, everybody that comes in there and works, they don't do it for the pay. They do it because they are helping people. And so being in that room and being able to turn around and go, hey, we've got a third, fourth, fifth, sixth call on that, and this is something, you're not interrupting that person, which is something that I really look forward to, is the direct one-on-one communication.
Well, what about those who are not going to be going along with you? How? And that would be Lebanon Police, Mount Juliet Police.
Mount Juliet is I guess you need to have them out here one day and see exactly what they're thinking. I mean, Mount Juliet knows the benefits of us getting the units going right now, because we're in that test session with the Mount Juliet Fire Department and have been now for 2 months. There's talk about us entering the call into the CAD for the PD and helping them to get going. There's all kinds of things. The CAD is computer aid dispatch software, and it was formulated for that purpose, is for the information to be given out quickly so that units could be going quickly. So that is something that we're looking forward to, and just Mount Juliet has an open mind of going into this, and Jamie Luffman has been really supportive, and they're tickled to death what's happening right now with saving them time getting to calls. So it will not affect the city of Lebanon in any way. They'll still get their calls, directly from us. So hopefully one day that we do have a common CAD with them at this moment, and it'd be nice if we could just at least give them that information, even their patrol units or their fire department, to help them get, that call dispersed out a lot quicker.
Okay, and now again, this is a work in progress, and we're talking about a year and a half from now, January 2023. But you did say that for a while, when I think there was construction going on and remodeling and so on at your place on West Main, you were over at WEMA. Did that 6 months or so, that have a bearing on what we're doing here, and maybe some people on your board saw it like you did and decided a better way to go?
I believe so. Even before that, we knew that being in the same room was the way to go, because we had attempted to do that a few years ago. But, but if you go throughout the state of Tennessee and you look at people who have either co-located or consolidated, it takes years. And you really need to take your time on this. But yes, you are correct. As soon as that we went to the Wilson EMA during our remodel, and the feedback from our call takers and dispatchers was, hey, they work extremely well together. We had 2 big events during that time. We had COVID hit, and we had the tornadoes. Mm-hmm. And when those tornadoes hit, they were just like a well-oiled machine working together. And there's nothing better to see a bunch of dispatchers and call takers working together to do the right thing, to help each other.
Well, I don't know what else to say about this. It's a work in progress, like we said. But your people are well trained, and I think you've got some people who've been there for maybe not as long as you, but been there for a pretty good while, and are really expert at what they do.
Yes, and we have a really robust training program. So especially when we decided to get into the dispatching side, we end up with over 400 hours of training a year. I mean, just really way above than what's required of us, and our folks love it. They, their knowledge just is exorbitant, and they just want to help. They want to be excellent at what they do. In fact, our center was recognized by a company called Rapid SOS. which is another way that the call will actually come into us a lot quicker than it will our 911 software. So we were recognized as being the third in the state of handling those calls. So that was a very proud moment when we were recognized that.
Well, how are things financially? And there's some cost to the move here. How is that going to look well to the taxpayer, I guess? We taxpayers always want to get all the bang we can for our buck.
Yeah,
You know?
it's not going to cost you any more. We're not going to raise the fees or anything. It'll come out of our budget. And really, we're just moving the stuff. We're working through with AT&T, and there will be no charge on moving our 911 equipment. So they're going to be doing a hardware and a software upgrade during that time. So we're looking forward to that. So really, the cost is going to be minimum compared to, in the long run, what the benefits are going to be for the citizens.
Well, each time we pay our phone bill is a dollar or two. I don't even look at it, but there's a portion of that does go to fund what you do, right?
It does. It goes all to the state, collects it all, and they divvy it out.
It's on cell phones too, I understand.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. $1.50. Yeah.
Do you anticipate a need anytime in the next 5 years to raise that?
No, but with salaries,
Inflation.
salaries, yeah. We have a pretty tight budget, really, at the end of the year, and we just gave a pretty good raise to our folks. But you were talking about being at the conference. There was actually a 911 center there recruiting dispatchers at the starting pay of $46. It was in Washington State. It was very interesting to look at the new building. Of course, they have 100 call takers and dispatchers there, but $46 an hour to start. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like everywhere else. Small businesses can't find anyone, even large businesses, and we're there too. Luckily, we are fully staffed except for one part-time person, but there's some agencies that I know of that have 9 people that are short call takers. I spoke with somebody from the reason I said Lexington. I think they're down 22 call takers.
And you're just short one part-time.
One part-time.
But do you have any on standby, or just your regular staff might be asked to come in and work extra hours, overtime or something? How do you handle that? Somebody gets sick?
That's the breed of the telecommunicator, I believe, throughout Wilson County. They're there because they want to be there. They're there because they know that they're giving the service to the citizens. And so they know when somebody's out sick or maternity leave or whatever, and they're always available to step up to fill in.
And there's vacations to cover too.
There's vacations to cover, yes.
You do get a little time off like everybody else.
Yes.
Well, you would entertain a part-timer if they put in an application here.
Sure.
You'd like that, but it's good to know that we don't have the vacancies that others do. So
yeah, it is, and that's something that the co-location will help, because if a person gets sick in the middle of a shift, then once we get cross-trained, the sheriff's dispatcher can help 911, 911 can help the sheriff, and WEMA as well. So we're looking forward to us being able to draw on that same pool.
And you sound like it's going to be, from your point of view at this point anyway, a smooth transition, a change for the better, and a year and a half to get it done.
Yeah, it's sometime the first quarter of 2023, so we've got to get a lot done. A lot of meetings taking place for me anyway.
But you will still have your administrative office on West Main.
Yes, we will.
Now, and do the mapping, the GIS, all of this, and two, that's another thing I was going to ask you here. Are your calls continuing to increase?
They are. We're averaging now anywhere from 120 to 150 a day. I mean, it just varies. Yeah.
120 to 150. So
Yep.
divide that by 24, and that's how many it would be an hour. So you
Yeah. I mean, you
got
have to
5 or 6 emergency calls on
Yeah.
average an hour.
Well, that's a day.
I mean,
Yeah. 120 to 125 a day.
All right.
Yeah. But the call volume has been as high as 200. And of course, when there's big events, then I mean we've had a certain time we've had 110 in a matter of 3 minutes. There's no way you can handle that. I mean, you just go as best as you can. I tell my folks, I said, when you get in a hurry, that's when you're going to mess up. So just take your time and handle what you can handle.
How would you like to do Bonnaroo?
No, I'll pass. The race and the fair is enough.
Okay. Karen, it's always good to have you. Thank you for bringing us up to date, and we'll have you back and discuss it more, I'm sure. But thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Coleman.
Karen Moore, Director of 911. That is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And at 7:29, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake pad or a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A little bit of sluggish traffic here at times on 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. Traffic still moving through Wilson County right now with some radar in Wilson and Smith County this morning. Be careful. Traffic's on the increase even more. 24 passing Bell Road. A wreck with injuries 39th at Clifton Avenue. That's north Nashville. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is now hiring at all their locations. Check out that menu at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
You have a vision. We have the financing to make it happen. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we have the resources that individuals, families, and businesses need to grow and achieve their goals. As an independent local community bank, we're able to provide loans with great rates, fast decision-making, and personal service from one of our local, friendly lenders. We believe in the power of possibility. It's why we say yes more often. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Stephen Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
One more seriously hot day to get through. Temperatures climbing to 96 today with a heat index in the low 100s. And we do have a cold front approaching, increasing your rain chances and fortunately lowering temperatures for this weekend.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Coleman and Company, we welcome you to part two here on a Friday morning. Time for us to talk about and with the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. We've got Diana Cavender here today. Diana, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
And we're glad to see you, of course.
Glad to see you.
You have worn a number of hats in our community. Now, I've been knowing you ever since you started working for T.A. Bryan in his insurance office, which was a good while ago.
Almost 2 decades.
Sometime along the way, you decided that you wanted to do real estate as well, and you joined the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty.
Got to join the best. Did it with Tommy. Got to do it with Judy.
How long ago?
4 or 5 years ago.
Well,
seems like yesterday. Yeah.
But are you having fun yet?
Oh, loving it. Loving it.
Well, you're here you're really here to be Miss Judy and Medina both today, I guess, but you can't be them. You're Diana. What do you want to tell us about?
Well, I'm hoping everybody got the Wilson Post on Wednesday and saw on the back of the sports section, we have a big advertisement about houses that we've sold pending. And down at the bottom is a house that I have listed on 1609 Bryan Street. Mm-hmm. So sort of, I would say, the east side of the city, just when you're getting into the county. So only county taxes. It's a perked for 3-bedroom. It's a 4th bedroom they've added with 3 bathrooms, a little under 2 acres, and everything is brand new. I mean, they bought the house just last year when it was renovated and added some extra stuff themselves. So you pretty much don't have to do anything to the property.
And what's the asking price here?
We are asking, in the paper, it was $469. We just did a price adjustment, it's $465.
$465.
And it has a 2.5 assumable mortgage on it. So that's sweet now that we are over 5%. So you're cutting it in half.
All right. What's the best number to reach you?
You can reach me on my cell, 615-585-7773.
And you would appreciate anybody that's got questions about that, want to see it, call you and let you help.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll give them a showing.
Looking for more listings?
Always looking for more listings. I have one coming soon in July in Old Hickory. We're just renovating that a little bit. Always open to show new people coming into town, people who have been a lifelong Wilson County person, to show them houses. And I'm a buyer and a seller's agent.
Well, you seem to be loving this, and yet I think you kept your day job too.
I do still do the life, disability, and Medicare.
That's a poor way of saying that, because you work real estate and insurance day or night if it takes it.
I've been known to 11 o'clock at night be on the phone. Yeah. And luckily, Judy has been known to answer the phone at 11 o'clock if I need her. So.
Well, I didn't say earlier about that somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day and that they're people you can trust. You're one of those people you can trust, too, who offer great service. And of course, the office itself, 1330 West Main, you're there part of the time, I take it. I
am. I fly through there, whenever I can. We're supposed to visit once a week. And if I may add, if you were there last Friday, Chick-fil-A was over there doing a drive-through or checking out that side of town.
Yeah.
They are not going to be there today due to the heat because they are nice to their employees. We're going to try for next Friday again. So
okay.
If you're out and about next Friday.
Well, when many times recently, when Miss Judy's out here, she sort of gives us a little lesson and a lecture on certain aspects of real estate. I bet you have learned a lot already from her. She has so much experience and is so able to explain it and why we do this and why we don't do that.
Yes, she's very good about being totally ethical. I mean, why you do what you do, and just her experiences and how to treat the customer right.
Yeah. And you and Medina get along all right, don't you?
Oh, she's a sweetheart, yes. Gotta love her leopard print.
I think they both kind of adopted you.
I hope so.
Well, they're letting you come here and do the commercial.
That's right, so I can't be all that bad.
Well, real estate has been booming here for a while. It's still going pretty strong, as I understand it.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee, and that happened also during the financial debacle in 2009. We are holding very well. I mean, you can't beat the I-40, Nashville, airport.
Yeah.
You see all the businesses coming in. Someone's got to work there, so they got to live somewhere.
Well, now, have you learned that slogan that Medina always leaves us with?
No, but go ahead.
Don't make a move without us?
That's right.
Well, if you want, tell us again about this listing that you've got quickly here, and we'll let you go.
Very good. It is on 1609 Bryan Street. That's off of Rome Pike. It is for $465. FHA assumable 2.5% loan, little under 2 acres, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and give me a call, 615-585-7773.
All right, Dana Cavender, thank you for being with us this
morning.
Thank
you for having me.
C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main in Lebanon. They're people you can trust, and as Medina always closes it out by saying, don't make a move without us. Thank you very much.
That's right.
All right, we're 22 before the hour, and Gail Hibbert is here this morning as my guest for part 2. Gail, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again, and how are things at the James E. Ward Ag Center and the Farm Bureau Expo Center?
We are doing great and super busy as always.
Well, we always have plenty to talk about, and I know you are a busy person because you keep not only yourself and everybody else busy with all the people that come and go, especially at the Expo Center, which you are responsible for. But I'm wondering if you hadn't surprised yourself a little bit since you took over.
Well, I will tell you, I am super proud of what we've accomplished. And when I say we, again, I'm talking about the whole team, because I certainly couldn't do any of this without the rest of the team. But I'm very proud of how we've got the word out. I'm very proud of how we navigated through COVID and still were able to be successful and busy. And we did lose events during that period of time. So did everybody. But we were also able to maintain and garner new events that have stayed with us. So it's kind of surreal to think how we got from there to here. And our calendar is full, and we are booking out into 25, 26.
Wow.
And it's just incredible. It's exciting. It's very exciting. It's good news for the county. Very proud to be able to bring the revenue in from the expo for the county.
Well, I imagine you have a lot of people who inquire that seek you out, which is good. But you don't sit waiting for somebody to call you. I know you've got to be active out here looking for people who might want to come and giving them a reason to come and selling not only the Expo Center and the Ag Center, but Lebanon and Wilson County.
Absolutely. So that's really, you got that exactly right. It's twofold. Locally, I try to stay connected to the chambers. We have been instrumental in being involved with the Mount Juliet Chamber that I've got coming up next month, actually having a breakfast at the expo for the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber business people. And that's very strategic. It's getting them in the building. If people can see what you have and what you can do, it sparks ideas, and that's the whole idea for us to be able to have them in the building. But at the same time, just a group of people, myself, Philip Lacey in my office, Jason Johnson over at the CVB, and Whitney Embry, also from the CVB. We went to Branson to a meeting planners conference and met with 32 meeting planners while we were there, sharing the news, who we are, where we are. And that's something that's relatively new for the expo, is trying to get that out there. And that's not an instant fix. You can go, you can talk about it, you can, share all the information. It's that repetitive. So staying engaged with those kinds of companies, adding a new one, going to Arkansas in October, and going to meet with Connect meetings and do the exact same thing with a different market base.
How important is our proximity to Nashville and Davidson County?
It is important for several reasons, but primary reason would probably be because you're close enough to go play in Nashville if you want to, but you don't experience the cost, the traffic, the parking, and everything else that comes with that. Okay, so it really kind of depends on what you're looking to accomplish while you're here. So knowing that it's there and that you can do what you want to do here, but if you want to hop on the train and go to Nashville, or you want to just get in the car and go to Nashville, you can. You can make a day of it, but you don't have to be immersed in it. And that's something actually that our meeting planners are telling us is the trend used to be for many, many years, conferences would look for metropolitan cities, immerse their people in it. You literally lived and breathed the hotel and the local area. You never went anywhere. That's not the case anymore. They're looking for experiences. They're looking for a little bit quieter pace to focus on what they want to do, and also give their people an opportunity to experience the local area, which is something I think that Convention South, the meeting that we went to in May, does very well. They do the exact same thing with us. When we go, they share the area with us.
What do you got going right now?
Right now,
we just had Redneck Rumble, didn't we?
We did just have Redneck Rumble. That's a joint venture between the James E. Ward Ag Center and the Expo. He always uses the Expo for that. For those that are of the MMA mindset, we've got that fight coming up on July 2nd. And then those that are into the cosplay, AkayaCon is coming. And that is another world. That's all I can say is it's another world. People dress up as various characters. Maybe it's from anime. Maybe it's a cartoon series, a comic book series. They dress up, and then there's, like from these video games, they'll be acting and playing out these different scenarios. I've not seen this event yet because it hadn't come back since COVID. This is their first opportunity to come back since then, so it'll be interesting to see. They'll be here at the end of July. And then got the gun show. Gun show's back. I haven't ever been able to have dates for them before July, so they'll be back in July. And then for those, I've got scrapbooking coming up towards the end of the year, and then I've got Mistletoe Merchants, of course, is a staple, always at the end of September.
The gun show.
Yeah.
It has its own, the certain people seem to be especially attracted to that.
That is true.
And they come in droves, don't they?
They do. They do. It is like, I will shout out kudos to RK Gun Shows. They do their shows well. They have a system. They follow the system. Safety first. They're always very focused on safety. I really appreciate that because that takes the pressure off of us from having to make sure that happens. But they do their shows well. They bring in a huge number of vendors, which gives variety to those coming to shop. They've been a staple with us for a long time, and we're really proud to be able to have them. They would love to be at our facility more, but I don't have the space open in the spring. So we're working towards that.
Right. There's an admission charged, I believe, for that, isn't it?
There is. And everything is on their website. I think it's rkgunshow.com, I think is what their website is. You can just put RK Gun Shows and it'll pop up in your search.
Okay. We need to take a break. Gail Hibbert, my guest. We'll talk more in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:46, we'll see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Out here from time to time on I-40 coming past the airport. It's been light to moderate out here for the most part, but with tons of radar. Of course, a lot of concentration on I-24 through Manchester because of Bonnaroo this weekend. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar, it's home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Yes, they have other flavors. Check out that birthday cake wine. Log on to GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Gail Hibbert is with us. We're talking, of course, about the Farm Bureau Expo Center at the Fairgrounds, which Gail's in charge of. And it's your responsibility to have somebody there as much of the time as you can who come in. They pay bucks to rent that place to keep it going and make it profitable, and to pay you to come and do the job, and your employees and all that. And I think from what I hear and what you've told us in times past here, the place is paying for itself, maybe making a little money. It all sounds good.
It is. It is making money. I'm super proud of that fact because, the building is for the taxpayers. It belongs to the county. And we are super proud of the fact that we are now making money. There are some lulls in the year, but if you look at the average, like last year, it was like $247,000 in profit. At this point, May and June are usually a little less in terms of revenue, just kind of the types of events and the way it falls. But already we're over $100,000 in profit, and we're just now hitting the halfway mark for the year. So
it would sound like if things continue as they are, you're going to make more this year than you did last year.
I would think so. Yes, I would think so. But I mean, we're seeing inflation also. And, Zendel does a great job. He manages all the logistics in the building and all the people that work the events. And he does a great job. The whole team does a great job. And he is seeing an increase in cost. And of course, the building is turning 6 in November. Yeah. So it's going to start having some maintenance things. So those are things that we have to look towards. But bottom line, even with May usually being a little lighter on the revenue side, we still covered our cost and still made a little bit of money.
Well, I'm wondering something else we might talk about a little bit. You said the building's 6 years old. Anytime a group, and especially if it's a large group that rents a facility, comes in there, there's a chance of something being damaged a little bit, broken, torn up. I mean, you expect, I guess, some of that. What do you have in place? Is there insurance maybe to reimburse a bad situation, or is somebody responsible if they do a lot of damage? How do you work that?
Well, the policy is anybody that comes in to rent the building does have to have an insurance policy, a liability insurance policy.
Okay, so they are responsible if, all right, got it.
Yes, yes. I mean, obviously the building's insured because we're county owned, but they have to have a policy to cover any damage caused by their event. And they're actually not even allowed to come in the building and start setting up until I have a copy of that policy. So that's a hard line that has to be followed because that protects the county. Right. Because if we don't have that and something gets damaged and we end up paying for it, then now I'm costing taxpayers money. Right. And that's not something we want to do.
Are most people, most groups, take pretty good care and do a good job?
They really do. Where I see, and I think Zendel would definitely support me in this, but what I see is when you contract out setup people, like they're bringing in trade show stuff, okay? So this is a lot of pipe and drape, a lot of metal work that, they're bringing in and putting together and hanging the pipe and drape. I have walked in the front door and watched a contractor drag a piece of metal across the beautiful painted floor in the main. It hurt my heart just a little bit. And yeah, they have insurance and we do have a system in place to charge them for damages and on top of that. But the bottom line is that two things. You have to take the time to fix it. And if I take the time to fix a lot of that, then I'm taking away time that I can rent it. Because quite frankly, the biggest chunk of time that we have to do any maintenance, big maintenance, okay, is the last 2 months of the year over Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Bottom line, that's our biggest opportunity. And of course, that's the one time that, with staff, everybody's focused on the holidays and so forth. So it becomes a bit dicey. Even cleaning South Hall's carpet can be challenging.
Well, now, I think one of the attractions to this facility is the rates that you have, very competitive and maybe super competitive with other competition, Nashville in particular. Is that right?
That is true. Well, that is true. What we're hearing or have been hearing is maybe it's almost too inexpensive. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be the least expensive out there. That has a tendency to suggest maybe in some people's minds that maybe it's less than, but you don't want to be the most expensive either. So you got to find that niche. I think we hovered in that niche for a long time, and the Ag Committee just approved a very modest hike in the price for the main exhibit hall. That's obviously the most coveted space, the most utilized space. Although South Hall's catching up quickly, but there will be a modest price increase, and it's really more about trying to keep the equity between the two rooms, the price per square foot, more in line than what it was originally established as. And that we'll look at that. We'll run that for probably a year and a half, and then we'll look at it again. Was that a solid decision, or do we need to change it?
Now, as I understand it, you're responsible for the Expo Center itself, the Farm Bureau Expo Center. Those Fiddler's Grove or the East-West Building or whatever, that's somebody else's.
That's correct. Okay. So all those buildings outside of Fiddler's Grove and the Expo, the James E. Ward Ag Center, Quentin Smith is in charge of. And then Fiddler's Grove, obviously, Gwen Scott is in charge of that. Wilson County Promotions has an office on the grounds also. And then there's the Expo. And so, it's confusing to people. Especially considering that, they come out there and they think it's all one big thing.
Yeah.
And it's not,
But it can be, in a sense, that somebody comes in and rents the whole
That's
place.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, life would be wonderful if everybody came in and said, we want the whole grounds. Then that would just be so awesome. But that doesn't happen that way. Yeah. The longer people stay, the easier it is for staff to manage it because you're maintaining something as opposed to having to break down, reset, and clean. So that's obviously the goal, but that's not always going to be the case. And then we have some limitations. Not having a hotel on the grounds hurts us. We hear that from event planners. All 32 of those event planners in Branson said the same thing.
Yeah. Well, let the record show you brought that up this time. I did last time.
Fair point.
Judge
point.
Tatum did.
He did.
I was not going to mention that today, but since you did, that would be would just really enhance the idea.
Yeah, and that's my only point in saying that is that that's what event planners are telling us.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it, but that's what they're telling us. That doesn't mean that we're not getting the people to come out and rent the building. It just means it's harder.
Well, times change. What people want to do sometimes changes. How are you adapting the use of that building to different? I'm wondering. I mean, maybe there's different groups out here that you haven't really worked on before that you are now. I'm just throwing this out for discussion here.
Absolutely. Well, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, main exhibit hall is the coveted spot. That's the big room. South Hall kind of gets overlooked a lot. So we have done a very targeted campaign, hence working with the chambers and the local businesses, including that entire 840 corridor and all of the warehousing that is in the area, to let them know that we're here and we're available for them to be able to use for conferences, for training programs. What I'm hearing is that the conference room concept of doing in-house training with COVID and a lot of people still working from home, their conference rooms aren't big enough now because they're bringing more people in, trying to get more done at one time as opposed to over a period of time. And so they're looking for space. Anybody who's ever used our South Hall for training, meetings, whatever, come out of there going, that was amazing. They love it. So it's about getting that word out, concentrating on that specifically. That has been the concentration now for about 10 months, and it's paying off.
We got a couple of minutes left. Anything else on your mind this morning you want to tell everybody about, or?
I encourage people to come out and see what's happening. Check out our Facebook. It's at it's at Farm Bureau Expo. Our calendar, we try to keep that up to date. Note for the calendar, setup days are included. We don't want to give anybody misleading information to think that we have availability when we don't. So the calendar is on the website as well. If you ever have a question, you can always give us a call at 615-450-3049.
Well, it's always nice to see you and to know that you're working extra hard to keep that place filled as much as possible. But as I think we have we've seen quite a change here in just the last few months as COVID is kind of in the rearview mirror for the most part, and we're not concerned about some of the things. We're still a little bit concerned about social distancing maybe, but it's not on the front burner anymore, it seems, and I think that's to your advantage.
It is to our advantage. It's to our advantage that maybe there's less concern in booking. They have more confidence in booking, but at the same time, we encourage them if they want to continue with those precautions to the strictest letter of the precaution. That is totally up to them. When they are renting the building, that is they get to define the terms.
Right.
For example, we have a roller derby meet coming up in July, first one ever. Super, super excited about it. They have chosen to require mask.
Oh.
It's the first one that has asked us that, and they wanted to know if it was okay. It was like, it's your time. You're paying for the time. It's your call.
Yeah.
So, there's a variety of people out there that have different opinions. But I will say, if it's a board-governed entity that's renting the building, it is more likely they're going to be more precautionary than a private one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gail, our time is up. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time, and have a good one. And before I go, I want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. And I will say right now, until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.